Hello there, World of Tankers. Welcome to the channel. Hopefully all of you are doing well out there. I'm, of course, your host, World of Blitz, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Tier 10 Chinese heavy tank, the WZ-111-5A, and why I think that this will be the next tank coming in the auction as the Tier 10 vehicle. Now, as we know, the auctions so far have consisted of 2 Tier 10 tanks every single stage. So the first stage, of course, we had the T95E6 and the M60. We are now onto stage 2, which is the AMX-30B, and as well the Badger, another 2 vehicles. And I'm thinking for the final 2 stages, it's going to be the WZ-111-5A and the WZ-121B. Now, I'm very, very certain that the 5A will be coming out because it was actually meant to be in this year's Snow Globe. Not only did Wargaming have it shown in their video, and they typed in the comments that this tank was actually taken out of the Snow Globes, but as well, it was written in the in-game statistics that it was going to be in this year's Blitz Fair. So I'm very, very probable that this tank, I'm about 90% sure that this will be the vehicle coming in the last stage of the Blitz Fair auctions, which will be in just about 5 days. So what is good about this tank and what is bad? I'm going to be doing a full down review on this vehicle so you can know if it will be worth the price when it does come out, because this is a very tricky vehicle to run, but if you home in the skills, it can be a very fun tank. In fact, it is one of my favorite tier 10s in the game, sitting at over a 71% win rate, over 3,000 average damage, and over 700 games played in it, which is rare for me because, as you can see, most of my vehicles don't really pass the 300 mark, so the fact that this tank is sitting at 700 games, and I have almost every single tank in the game, it's very, very rare to find a vehicle that I play a lot and enjoy a crazy, crazy amount. Now, a lot of people don't understand why I like this vehicle a lot. Well, the nice thing is first of all, it carries a good gun. It's got an IS-7 type gun, about the same standard pen. The premium is nicer because it carries heat, which means that while it is the same premium penetration, if you're going to run calibrated, it's going to boost it a bigger amount than the APCR would be on the IS-7. Not only does it have decent heat penetration, it's got very, very nice high explosive shells, dealing 600 average damage. So it's got really nice values going for it. Not only that, but it's mobile. This takes the faults with the WZ-113, the poor traverse speed, and it's got not only really good top speed, able to go upwards, well, I hopefully would be able to go upwards of 50 kilometers per hour, but sadly, my teammates are getting in my way, but it's able to go upwards of 50 kilometers per hour. Not only is it fast, it's got good gun depression, 7 degrees, and the turret armor is the strongest turret in World of Tanks Blitz, apart from the AMX M454, but since the sides of that turret are so weak, I still rate this turret as stronger, because this is one of the only 2 turrets in the game that can actually survive a Ho-Ri using premium AP, which, as we know, is very, very hard to find. In fact, the only other vehicle that I could find statistically to do it was the AMX M4. So you can see I'm using that good mobility to easily flank. We're already at the enemy spawn, and what that means is a vehicle like this VK-72 here, because I'm the first person to come around this corner, he's not going to be expecting me to be here. So there you go. Nice shot into the Jagdpanzer E100, and because of that, we were easily able to catch him out in the open. And, well, yeah, you can see we are already able to get a nice shell into him. Now, there's not much I can do about him, but he was shot right then by a big old shell for 700, and hopefully we're going to be able to snap this Jag, but really, right now, there's not much I can do, judging that the Jag is, well, he's kind of waiting for me. But, to be fair, we're going to test our luck and yeet a shell right into his lower plate. There you go, another 500 hit points. With 2 shells, we've already dealt 900 damage. And that's, of course, where that big alpha really does come into place, is I love the ability to roll such a high shell. We got, like, the Toon 5B here again. He was trying to angle, but, again, 488. I'll easily take that trade all day, because we're already sitting at around 1,500 damage with 3 shells. So the damage is really, really nice. And one thing you'll always hear me say is damage is key in Blitz. Again, another nice tap there, 535, and we've easily already broken the 2,000 damage variable, and we're hopefully going to be making our way straight up past that number, getting a shell maybe into this I-7 as it peeks around the corner. Here we go, aiming. Oof, just going into the spaced armor. Not much you can do about that, of course. I can say, well, the gun is more accurate than an IS-7. It still comes with some of these same issues. One of them, of course, is on movement dispersion. It will struggle. However, as you can see, nice shell into the IS-7. And because I was angling my hull correctly here, using my 7 degrees of gun depression, we were able to make a very nice bounce occur on our upper plate. So that VK-72 is still holding there quite strong, and hopefully we're going to be able to get a shell maybe into the IS-7. If that VK pulls out, there's not much I can do about it, but we're aiming on the IS-7's lower plate. Aiming, and fire. Ooh, went under his vehicle. Well, not necessarily what I wanted there, but we'll reload and hopefully get another shell into him here in just a couple seconds. Hello, IS-7 comrade. How are you doing? Let's just aim in on lower plate. There you go. Nice shot. he did damage our engine, but IS-7 is now taken out, and it seems like our team is actually doing a very solid job as it is. Again, you can see using that good mobility, I'm able to get into position, get a nice shot to the side of the 2 and 5B, and we're easily sitting over 3,000 damage at 3,354. Now, that VK, I'm not sure if he fired, and I'm very worried that he didn't. However, we're still going to poke it and test our luck. No, he had not fired. Well, maybe I shouldn't have poked it, but at least I know now that he is on a reload, a very long reload at that. Come on, 1-1B, poke it. You won't. You won't. Okay, now I do know that we out-reload the VK, so let's get one nice snap into him. Nice shot from the Jagdpanzer E100. I hope that this VK doesn't finish him off, but looks like he's going to a very quick watery grave. Now we got that 1-1B pushing very, very aggressive as well. Let's get a nice HE. Oh, that's not what you want. That's in fact very far from what you want. In fact, that means that we're probably not going to be able to do much about this game anymore. We had a very high chance of pulling this out, but now, sadly, my team just didn't really do a good job. But nonetheless, we did 4,700 damage that battle, a very respectable amount when you do think about it. We were able to use our mobility, push around the places, and 4,700 damage is a very large amount. So the fact that we were able to do that shows you that it can be an extremely strong tank if you're using the hull down capabilities. But at the same time, you'll notice that when you're out in the open and when people can aim in on your upper plate or your lower plate, it's very easy to penetrate. The armor on this tank is very weak unless you're hull down. And this is the part that dissuades a lot of people from doing well in the vehicle, is that the turret on this tank, as I said, can bounce a Ho-Ri shell. Now it does have cupolas, but actually the roof of the cupolas are extremely troll. In fact, a lot of people know the terrors of trying to penetrate a 5A's cupola. But pretty much the thing about this tank is that you're able to confidently sit hull down, and when you're using your 7 degrees of gun depression, of course, you can't shoot the cupolas on this vehicle as you saw. So you're pretty much invulnerable when you're hull down. Your upper plate is very steep, and if you're hiding it, you're completely impenetrable. The thing is that the hull armor is very weak. The lower plate, yeah, it's about 220 millimeters thick, but still 220 isn't going to bounce any tier 10 or tier 9 shells. Now, you can angle it and get a couple nice bounces, you know, if you're trying to bait a shell around a corner, but you really can't trust the hull armor that well. Even the side armor is very easy to penetrate, and it's a big weak spot that this vehicle does have. However, as you can see, there's that wonderful turret armor getting a nice bounce from the 57 Heavy on the enemy team. We also got, actually a lot of vehicles pushing in quite aggressive. So we're going to see if we can get an HE onto the Leopard's booty. Aiming, and fire. There you go. Nice 548 roll there. That's, of course, what I love about this vehicle. And on a map like this, where I'm able to stay hull down, this is where that armor comes into its own element. Now, you can see the premium pen does struggle when trying to get through a vehicle's turret like the E100. Now, the reason I knew that was going to pen is because it was just a little bit hazy, which I knew would just be enough to get through his weak turret armor. Now we got the Kronwagen right here. Let's aim it on that upper plate. Now we can go back to being hull down. Again, I'm not worried about him being able to pen me at all if I'm in a hull down position. He looked at me and then he looked away. And that's just what this vehicle is able to do if you're putting it hull down. Now we got the Kron here. Let's aim a heat shell on his upper plate, and already the enemy team has just pretty much fallen apart. So we went from having a very bad game and unfortunately a team that fell apart very quickly to a very good game where our team is actually doing a decent job of holding. Our WZ-113 is rushing this guy like no tomorrow, and hopefully we'll easily be getting a big ol' shell into the side. There you go for 411. Now we can start moving on to vehicles like the Chieftain Mark 6 over here, maybe getting a nice little HE right up the booty. Come on, ye want big shell up butt, and HE for 562. I can say that the high explosive capabilities of this tank are very, very nice. The ability to roll somebody for 600 on average with this gun is something that you really don't find yourself, you know, it's just nice. Again, there was another 681 damage off of that 4005. Using that good mobility, I was not only able to reposition very quickly, but again, break the 3,000 damage barrier. Now, I can say that this tank will come into the stars. Oh, that guy just got smackered. But I can say that this tank will come into the scores, probably starting off at about 15,000 gold. And, well, I can say that that is not a very good player. I'm not sure what he was doing, but didn't do necessarily the best job at it. But, as I was saying, this tank has got very good capabilities. If you played hull down, as you saw me do here, both games are easily able to break 3,000 damage. And that was one of the worst teams I've ever gone up against, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. But the other game was more of a good example to show you that it's good. If you're able to use the mobility, able to use the gun, it can be a very strong tank. Now, if it's going to start off at 15,000 gold and it goes down to about maybe 10,500, 12,500, I would suggest to actually get your hands on it, because it's fun, and it's a tier 10 that earns very good credits. credits. Even on the game we lost, you'll still probably see we earned decent credits, 50,000. The game we won, 50,000. So it's got a really good credit coefficient. You don't need to shoot heat that much, and I absolutely love this vehicle. Now, I do know that some other people don't necessarily like it, but for me personally, it's a tank that I love, and as long as you know how to run it correctly, it can be a very, very influential tank. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. As always, if you did, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. But other than that, hopefully all of you are doing well out there. Stay happy, stay healthy, and be seeing you in the next one.